remember to record these things. Okay, recording now. So this is Carly. She is a coach under Carrie Rouse, and I'm really excited. Oh, Carrie, sorry. I'm like a squirrel tonight. I'm like reading the So without further ado, Carly, I will mute myself so there's no really obnoxious disruption in the background. So Carly's going to share a little bit about her journey, her story, and then rock it out with some tips of what she's doing in her business to succeed.
Okay, guys. So I'll give you a little background. I'm actually from Cedar Rapids, Marion. Didn't know Bree. Carrie and I were actually just talking about how we met tonight many moons ago and then didn't connect until about a year ago. So I went to college at my smallest weight ever because I was like, freshman 15 isn't happening. I'm moving to a new state, starting a new chapter. I'm going to rock this. I graduated college 3 years ago, 125 pounds heavier, the highest I'd ever been in my life. And I was seriously knocking on the 400 mark store. So when I graduated, I was like, you know what? This is it. I don't have to study. I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's time to make my health a priority. And I have PCOS, and my husband and I were really trying to have a baby at that time. So losing weight really helps you do that. So we had a big motivator. Did that. Lost about 40 pounds using MyFitnessPal and just, actually moving instead of sitting on a couch all day at that weight. And then I went into the hospital one Monday because I just wasn't feeling right at work, and I was only 27 weeks pregnant at the time. And I went in on a Monday afternoon, and I had an emergency C-section on Thursday morning. And I'm going to try not to cry. But literally the doctor had the conversation with us, made us sign a waiver. You're going to be a dad and a widow on the same day. I had to sign a waiver saying, save the baby, don't save me, and all those things. So really, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I didn't know if the baby was going to make it. Sorry, guys. I'm trying not to cry. But we did. I woke up about 10 hours later, and I was alive. And I got to see my husband, and I said, where's our baby? And it was technically the next day, and I got to meet our baby. And he's just a little thing smaller. He's like the size of an iPhone 7. And he lived. He almost died multiple times in the NICU, and I had lots of complications too, but we lived. And so I said, if this little baby can fight for his life, then I need to fight to give him the best life that I can. And I want to be there, and I want to run with him. I want to play with him. I want to teach him sports, whatever. So that is when I got a lot more serious about my health. And actually, I had a different Beachbody coach reach out to me before Carrie. They kind of reached out to me at the same time. And I wasn't necessarily closer with either of them. And then the other one only reached out to me once and never followed up with me again. And Carrie kind of followed up with me like every month and answered my questions. And she didn't really put the pressure on. Like, I could ask her 10,000 questions and she would be like, here's the answer to all of them. Let me know when you're ready and we'll do this. And so I said, okay, we'll do it. And I signed up as a challenger first. And then like 2 months into it, after completing one challenge group, I was like, I have all these people at work asking me for fitness advice, asking me, what am I doing? How am I losing this weight? And then Carrie just let me into a coach sneak peek. And I'm like, why aren't I getting paid for this? And why aren't I helping people? Like, and actually making a difference and like have the tools to help them have the knowledge and that kind of thing. So I don't know if you guys know, there are podcasts out in the Apple iTunes store from a guy named Keith Callahan, who I'm not even sure if he's still a coach, but it kind of sounds like he was a super coach for Team Beachbody. And he has a whole little 12 video series about why you should be a Team Beachbody coach. And he answers like all the questions like money, time, that kind of thing. As like a newbie coach or as someone who's really considering it, like that's kind of a low pressure place to go get the answers to your questions without having to talk to the person who recruited you. So I played it for my husband, and because he was kind of wondering too, and he's like, if you seriously want to do this, I'll do it. We'll do it. I'll support you. He's like, you're already doing it anyway. At the very least, you're going to get a discount out of it. I said, all right. So here we go. So that's when I signed up as a coach. And honestly, it hasn't been that hard in some aspects as I thought it would be. So I work out every day anyway. I drink Shakeology every day anyway. So I just snap a picture, put up a sentence. There's 2 out of my 3 daily posts right there. And I found out if you make a post on Instagram, you have an option when you make an Instagram post to share it on multiple social media sites. So like I can share my Instagram post to my Facebook at the same time. So if I don't want to make 5 different posts, I can share the same one across the board, which I don't really have anybody from my Facebook on my Instagram because I just got Instagram a month ago. So I have been doing that right now until I get a similar following, because it's not like the same people are seeing the same thing because they're 2 different sets of people. So really, I only need to put in like 10 minutes of thought into crafting a 3rd post for the day, because we kind of talk about posting 3 times a day. So honestly, most of the time Bree's on multiple times a day, so I kind of see what she's doing or what Carrie's doing or what is going on in my life, and then I share that. So like today, I shared about how I've been struggling with my workouts. The only reason I worked out yesterday is because Bree posted a video about how she's like, I did not want to show up for my dream every day. I showed up every day. There wasn't one day I didn't want to. And I was like, God damn it, Bree. All right, I'm getting up. We're going to go do this. And I had a mountain of laundry sitting on my guest bed. And I posted a picture of it. And I was like, this is real life, mom life. Here you go. There's 3,000 piles of laundry behind me. We're going to do that. And then we're going to go work out. And so everybody on Facebook could respond to me an hour and be like, hey, did you do your workout? Where's your workout? Did you get your laundry put away? What's going on? We're waiting for you. That kind of thing. So that is really that part of it. The personal development part, I have not gone out to the library yet and gotten the compound effect. I was just talking to Carrie about that before this. But really, as a newbie coach, the personal development part that I'm finding the most immediately helpful is listening to some of Anita and Bree's older videos, because it is legitimate things in the moment that I can apply and knowledge base that I need. And this group of women is very good about empowering each other, raising each other up, building each other's confidence, and how to talk to people about that. And so that is personal development for me alone, is to realize, I actually like myself now. I didn't really like that 400-pound woman. I hated that woman. But I really love myself now. And so to find a place of women to share that and to be receptive and happy to listen and share mom life and everything else has been amazing. And so getting it out there and sharing that and finding out ways to share it that's relatable is helpful. So I would say you need to participate. You need to participate. Like Leslie Cortez has an Emerald thing going on right now. Before that, Anita had a social media thing going on. Bree has the new coach training. There are all the opportunities out there for you if you just show up. So that is number 1, is showing up for me. And being present. Don't have 10,000 things going on at once. I had to sit down and tell my husband, I was like, hey, I need an hour and a half every day to devote to this. And it's going to be that structured time. But then outside of that, what we have found out is I have my hour and a half of structured time with you guys or whatever training I'm doing. But everybody messages you whenever they're free in their life. Hold on, I gotta grab a drink. So it has been a little bit of an adjustment to keep my phone attached to me, because most people are reaching out to me on Facebook Messenger, because that's how I'm reaching out to them. So sorry guys. That is the biggest difference that I've had to make, is that I have to be more available to my phone. But the thing is this is all about building a business, building a dream. So if that's all I have to do is keep my phone attached to my hip a little bit more, that's a really easy sacrifice to make. It's not like I'm putting in extra office hours at an actual location where I have to leave and go. And it's a lot easier for people to send you a message than talk to you face to face, because there's a lot less pressure. But I will say something I found out the hard way is on the messenger apps, it can tell someone when you've read it. So if you read it and didn't reply for 10 hours, they can see that. So I work night shift. So I've had to put it on there because some people will comment to me like at 11 o'clock at night or 6 in the morning. And I'm like, hey, I'm just getting off of nights. I'm jumping into bed, but I wanted you to know I did see this. I will respond to you in more detail when I wake up. So at least putting it out there, hey, I saw it, girl. I got you. Just got to give me a minute. And most people are understanding of that. And they understand that you have a real life too. So it's okay. So that has been the only sacrifice I've had me. That's what I really wanted to talk about was this hasn't been a sacrifice of my family time. It hasn't been a sacrifice of whatever I'm doing. It's been a sacrifice of TV time. I'm missing my Bravo reality housewives, but that's okay. They will be there. You can go back, you can find it. Making a difference in people's lives and building my own life is much more important to me at this time. So that's really, you got to really think about, what do you want out of this? Do you just want to be a discount coach? That's cool. That's totally fine. Whatever. Do you want to be rock and diamond January 1st with me? All right, hustle. You got to hustle to build it. And I know I talked to Carrie about this earlier on our call right before this. It seems like September has kind of been a struggle bus month. And I kind of feel like there are some people out there who are just pushing hard, really rocking it because they're trying to meet their goals this last week. And then there are some people who are like, well, it's pointless. I'm going to dwindle. I'm not going to do anything until the next month. For those of you who are kind of dwindling, like, oh, there's only 6 days. I'm not going to make it. We'll save it for next month. Don't do it. Stop. Because every single message you send today is a step towards building trust with that person tomorrow. So you know what? You're right. It may not pay off tomorrow. It may not pay off on Friday. But you started that seed today so you can cultivate it sooner. So that means that come October or come November, you're not starting from where you could have been starting back in September. So that's really all I had planned to say. I don't know if anyone has any questions or wants to know more.
Girl, you should have been speaking at Super Saturday.
I'm really hot. I don't know if you guys can see my face is like the color of my hair because I'm so nervous. But.
You did amazing. I had no idea all that about your story. I knew a little bit, but man, I don't think any of us were not like tearing up. I had no idea. That is crazy. I think, did you comment, Carly, when I went live in our Level Up coaching event?
Yeah, I think so.
That you said like our stories are kind of similar.
Yeah.
I was like, I think it was you too. That I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know this girl more. Thank you so much for sharing. That was like incredible. Definitely better than what I would have shared today. Does anybody have questions for Carly? Or you can think about questions and put them in the chat. I had a few questions and wanted to bring up just a couple things that I heard through that. Number one was that you're setting boundaries for yourself, but you're also setting push goals. So I would say, don't feel so distracted by your phone that you can't do other things. But yeah, there's a time to push, and you can tell that Carly's like, I'm gonna make things happen, so I'm gonna be more available. But like you said, you can be present and available, but also say like, I'm a mom and I'm busy and I'm working in this and that, and I will get back to you. So you can show care without being so tied to your phone. Because I definitely have moments and times in the day where I am available to Messenger and email and all that. But there are definitely times where I am purposefully not available because my kids need me to not be available to everybody else, or my house needs me to not be available to anybody else because it's like falling apart. Like there are times where I'm like, I have to take my phone and go downstairs to our gym and plug it in and then come back upstairs so I cannot be available to it. So be aware, like be present when you're present to work. Be present and show up and do diligent work, but then know that you were diligent in it so that you can set stuff down and still enjoy and be present to your family. So, if I'm saying like dinner time is a time where it's like social media free, if I know that like Ashley's going to be signing up and needs the link, right? I've sat from 6 to 7 o'clock, like dinner and bedtime. You know what? Ashley can wait 30 minutes, right? Like they all know they've got kids, they're busy, they've got jobs. So when somebody messages you, and this was something that I struggled with as a new coach a lot. Like I was just like, ugh. And at work I had anxiety because my phone had to be in the back and I was like, ugh, like what do I do? So just know that they're busy too. And if you get a non-response, like if you send a message and nobody responds to you, don't think that they're ignoring you because they're ignoring you because they want to. Like Carly said, Carrie followed up. She cared. She showed up for Carly. Just like a lot of people, like, we need to follow up and be like, hey, girl, I hope I didn't say anything to, like, put you the wrong way or rub you the wrong way. Like, just checking in on you. Wanted to make sure you got my last message. Because how many times do our kids have our phone and they swipe and they open stuff, or that we open it and completely forget, right? So there's times to be present, and there's also times where, yeah, you can be like, hey, I've got a lot going on. I see you. I'll get back to you. So just, be aware of what you're doing, because you don't want to be a slave to social media or like drowning every day. I think Lacey and I were talking about that, like setting boundaries. Like, this is possible with a job, but you have to be very intent when you're working on like tasks. I can't talk. Tasks, and checking them off and being like, okay, I messaged 10 people. I can shut my phone down. I will get back to them if they respond, right? If your phone starts going bing, bing, bing as you're sending invites and you're like, oh, I want to go see what they said, right? It's like a little rabbit trail. It will never end. So something to be aware of. Another thing that I loved is that you said, it's not hard to share if you're on your journey, right? It's not hard. You're just having to make a decision that this is the hard you're picking. Like, there are two options. You can be in the same life that you're in, living it and love it or hate it, or you can choose to make this work, right? But you have to make the choice and show up or not show up, and know that only you are making that decision, because people are making this work every single day. This is my full-time income. I plan on bringing Aaron home in the next year. Like, there are things that can be done, but you have to make a choice that you want to do it, and you want those things that are coming in the future bad enough to show up, right? Even when it's not instant results. Like Carly said, when you send that message, it's not so you make a sale that night, right? So you can convince that person to buy something that they don't want. It's planting a seed, and you trust that you plant enough seeds that you can cultivate and reap the benefits in time, okay? So, Marley says, sometimes I have to turn my phone on silent. I'm like, phone has to get shut off. I think it's like not even silent. It's like shut off, because I don't know about you guys, but like I see that little red marker on Facebook and I'm like, click, click. Like, I hate the red light. Like, I don't want to know that there's new stuff. I can't. And Instagram, we won't even get started. Like, the notifications on Instagram, I'm like, oh, who commented? Who liked? Who blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a whole world of nonsense. So if you're not working from a list, from a focused, like, vital behaviors list in that little realm, you can get so lost and be thinking that you're building a business when really it's a lot of time wasting. I did that my first year. I was like, why am I still Emerald? I don't know about you guys, but like, or if you know this about me, but I was Emerald for 11 months. Emerald is something that you can do in a day. Like, Emerald is your first rank, and I've seen coaches do it in one night. Like, sign up and be like, I'm Emerald. Like, they literally just wake up Emerald. But I was Emerald for 11 months with literally 22 coaches under me. 22. And I was like, why am I not rank advancing? Why am I not doing these things? But it was because I was really good at making excuses of why I was not becoming a leader. I wasn't pushing personal development, so I wasn't becoming a leader. And nobody was following me because I wasn't a leader. So, look at your tasks for the day. I need to stop saying that word because it's getting me all flustered. Look at your tasks and say, am I doing the work, the vital behaviors of a coach that's growing a business? Or am I pretending to work a business by being on Facebook? Because being on Facebook and watching what people are posting is not building a business, okay? You have to learn how to cultivate relationships. You have to learn how to talk to people. You have to learn how to put others' needs before yourself, and how to grow your confidence and in your journey, and how to share that, okay? I did not wake up overnight as a coach and share my struggles with eating disorders or alcohol or drugs. I didn't even share that with my team. I think Carrie was probably the only coach that knew what signing on, because she knew me in that life. But it wasn't something that I was like going to share. I'm like, no, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be perfect. I'm going to be happy and healthy now. Like, that's what people are going to see. But I soon realized if I didn't share those struggles, nobody could relate to me because I was being perfect, right? And nobody wants to see that. They want to see the struggle. So as Carly reaches out and shares her story, I guarantee it's crazy the people you sign up on your team that are like, I have that exact same story, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, we're like twins. Like, it's very strange. what they say is your vibe attracts your tribe. And the first year I was like, I don't know who these people are. Like, I have no idea. Like, I had a guy on my team that was like working out in the gym, like pumping GNC products. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know how I found this person, right? But now looking 3.5 years, I'm like, y'all are my tribe. Like, we can go to lunch together. Lori and I sat at lunch, and Robin, like, super Saturday, like, could actually have a conversation and talk and interact, and we have fun. And on these calls, we're not sitting here going, well, I have nothing in common with these people, right? So that's what you're cultivating by sharing your story. You don't want to share a top coach's story, okay? Because it's not relatable to the people around you and the people that you're going to be drawing in. So I loved that. Man, I'm just like all over here, like I'm ready to rock this business. You're right. Any other questions? I didn't see questions. I just saw comments. Anybody have questions for Carly? I mean, that was like a top 10 speech from like a 30-day in coach.
You're embarrassing me.
It was great. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like pumped up from that. I love that it doesn't matter where you're at in your life. I mean, I think I've hit rock bottom maybe a few times. There have been times in my life where I'm like, this is rock bottom. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no. This is rock bottom. I don't know about you guys, but like a few times. And every time I've made the decision to be like, you know what? I can choose to wallow in it and be like, this sucks. Like, my life sucks. I'm just going to quit coaching. It's not working. Or I can say, no, people are succeeding. People are doing this. I just have my like priorities screwed up. And once I realign and refocus that, everything starts working again. Okay? So remember that we are a team. Okay? I just got to know Carly myself tonight. I was like, girl, you want to talk on the call? That'd be great. Marley, exactly. Behind every great leader and every success story, there are 1,000 failures to that success. If I told you guys how many times I cried about not hitting Success Club in my first year, or like not being at Success Club, I've never not hit Success Club. Okay? Success Club, Leilani is a new coach on our team. She just joined. So hi, Leilani. Success Club is signing 3 challengers. So in every month, kind of like a base goal. But I've never not signed 5 people up. 5, okay? Because I was like, I'm gonna be above average. I'm gonna do the next thing to make this work. So if you're sitting back going, am I doing everything I can? And if you are, fine. But I would highly encourage you to evaluate where maybe like you're lacking personal growth, where you're lacking in your own journey, because you're not going to motivate other people if you're not doing it, right? Something so simple as shaking up my shaker every day. You guys, my Instagram blows up when I dance around the kitchen shaking my shaker. Like, I don't know what it is about that Instagram like story every single day that people are like, I love your dance. I'm like, thanks. I'm like, I ain't going to stop it. I don't know what it is, right? But you have to find your tribe. You have to know what they love. And you have to know what you love, okay? Like, I love dancing around the kitchen. I'm like, y'all want to see it? Great, right? So find what works for you. Love it. And love the people that you're talking to, right? Don't just look at it as a sale. I look at this team as like built on love. Erin has seen me literally crumble to tears when a coach leaves because I invest my heart. And I know every single person on this call was crying listening to Carly's story because like we are family, right? We don't let our family fall or stumble or struggle alone. And we also don't want to succeed alone. I'm sick. I've said to Carrie, I'm like, I don't want to go walk on that stage next year at Summit without some of my girls. It's not as fun and it's really scary. So our team, Carrie, so many of you guys, like you guys know, we've mentioned we are pushing for elite, which means we have to show up for our freaking goals because we deserve to be an elite team. You guys with your stories and your journeys and showing up, that is something to be proud of. So, all right, I'm done. I don't know why I just spoke for a million years. Y'all know me. I just ramble. Anyway, if there's not questions, I will post this recording. I'm going to like share this with the world. Carly, I'll post it in the team page. Don't worry, they're unlisted, so not really. Just our team can see them. But If you have coaches that missed, send it their way because I think it's very inspiring. I'm actually just going to post to the team page wall. Just hearing a new coach is rocking it. And like, it's because her heart's in it and you guys can see that. And it's worth it for her because the journey that she's on is more than a paycheck, right? The paycheck will come or not come. But is she out anything by pushing play on her goals, by being a better mom, by wanting to, be healthy and live a healthier, happier lifestyle? No, right? Don't worry about the money. Worry about your journey and love on people, okay? That is a big part of this business. So I love you guys. Thank you all for hopping on. I'll post the recording. Thank you so much, Carly, for sharing your story. That was wonderful. I'm going to can you talk next week too? Just kidding. I'll give you a break, maybe in 2 weeks. Anyway, if you guys did not see, our team Level Up is going to be representing in London. So we're going to post a sneak peek, and I will be in London repping. So anybody that has people interested in the UK, we will be on their time zone. I'll be just busting butt to talk to everybody and get all the people on our team. So if you have someone in the London area, make sure to connect us so that we can meet up. I'll be there for 10 days, I think. And then also last thing is our team calls are going from 8:30 to 8 Central. Okay, so just a 30-minute. Des is working on a calendar, so you'll see that. But just in case you set alarms or write it in your calendars or whatever, they'll be at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern instead of 8:30, 9:30. So just so it's not going so late for everybody. Hopefully that works for everyone. Again, I'll still post the recordings for those that can't hop on every week. But love seeing you guys. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.